Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to recommend some good beachy reads. Now these could be reads that are set at the beach. They are reads that are great to take to the beach if you're going on a beach vacation. Fun, quick reads that you could really just kind of get lost in, and it won't take you a lot of time and you're really going to enjoy yourself. Okay, so the first one, I can't not recommend Beach Read by Emily Henry. It's literally a beach read. This is also my favorite of hers so far. Granted, I have not read Funny Story, which is her newest release yet, but of all of her adult romances that I've read, this has been my favorite one. I love these characters so much, and I love the story. This is actually not set at the beach, it's set at a lake. But it is following two authors who are both in writing slumps, and they write very different genres. She writes romances, he writes literary fiction, and they both get into a conversation about how they are in writing slumps and having a hard time. And so they decide to challenge each other to write their perspective genres and see if that kind of jumpstarts their creativity. So she's going to write literary fiction, he's going to write romance, and it goes from there. And it is so good. The banter in here and the humor in here is so good. I really enjoyed myself so much with this one, and it is literally perfect to take to the beach. Another romance that is one of my favorites of all time is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I read this book almost in one sitting. I think it was two, but it could have been one if I hadn't started it so late in the afternoon. This one is following two people who are from very different walks of life as far as where they are living. She is an ER doctor living in the city. He is a bed and breakfast owner in the country, and they have a chance meeting one night. They have a connection, and you see them go from there and see how they can make whatever relationship is starting to pop up against both of their wishes happen. And you just see how differently they live and their different values and how they navigate all that stuff. There are scenes in this book that I still think about. I still think about scenes, and they make me laugh. And it's one of my favorites of all time. I love Abby Jimenez as an author. I have loved every single book that she has written so far that I've read. I only have one more to read of hers, which I'm going to be reading this summer. But this is so fantastic. I can't recommend it highly enough. If you want a nonfiction book, I definitely recommend The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. It is a short book, and it is literally set in the ocean with octopus, and you learn about them. It's actually more set at the aquarium, but there is ocean aspects in here where we're following Cy, who is interacting with octopus, like different octopuses, and how they react to humans and how they got to where they are. There is a big aspect in here about aquarium life and how the animals are treated and why they're in the aquarium versus out in the ocean. And then you do see her in the ocean with octopus in the wild as well, not just the aquarium. So you do get to see that aspect of it too. And this was so fascinating to me. And this reads like it's a narrative nonfiction basically. So it felt like a story, but it was all real. I really got to know these octopuses and how they, I started to care about them. Because I got to know their personalities, and they do have personalities, and you really see that. I learned so much in here about the octopus as a species and just how incredibly fascinating they are and how smart they are. It is nuts to me. And yeah, so if you're a nonfiction reader and you haven't read this, I highly recommend it. Okay, if you want to go more of a thriller route and just read like a fun thriller that you can't put down, I definitely recommend The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I read this in one day. I could not put it down. It was so good. It was much more than what I was expecting. It definitely goes into some dark places, and things happen that you don't see coming. You don't know when they're going to be coming. And it just really surprised me, and I loved it. I could not put it down. Like I said, I read it in one day. I literally could not stop. I had to know what was going on and what was going to happen next. If you have read this one, there is a sequel called The Housemaid's Secret. And then actually there is a third one coming out. I think it's called The Housemaid is Watching. So that one's going to be coming out later on too. So something to look forward to if you do love the first two of this series. But this one is fantastic if you haven't read it already. Then if you want a mystery, but not necessarily a thriller, I definitely recommend Finlay Donovan is Killing It by Al Casamano. This is such a fun mystery. It's not super long, and it's just such a good time. Like there is a murder, so don't get me wrong. There is a murder in here and you're trying to solve it and trying to figure out who did what. And Finlay just accidentally finds herself in the middle of it. But it's so much fun. There is a lot going on. There's definitely some intense scenes and some scenes where you don't really know what's going to happen or what's going on. And you see her get herself into trouble, sometimes on purpose, sometimes on accident. You see a great friendship between her and V, which is great. And just, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And I definitely want to read the rest of the series. This is another one that has 4 books out now. And I believe book number 5 is going to be coming out early next year. But yeah, so definitely recommend this series if you have not started it yet. It would be a great one to take on vacation because it's just fun. It's nothing too intense. It's nothing too crazy. You can, read it very easily and it's just a good time. Okay, guys, those are 5 books that I highly recommend that are really good for a vacation read because they are quick, they're fun, they're great for escape, but it's nothing too crazy. You don't have to think too hard about them. They're just a really good time. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know what your recommendations are for a good beachy getaway read. I would love to know that. And make sure you go check out Lindsay today and see which books she is recommending that you take on your beach vacation. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.